Hey guys, welcome back to my subscriber battle series. I've been trying out a different team to my previous one, and I'm still using Azumarill, so I led with that. And my opponent led with a Rotom, so obviously I don't want to stick around to take a Thunderbolt, so I brought in my Abomasnow because I was planning to use a Giga Drain on him, and he burns me, which I wasn't too gutted about at the time because obviously that was meant for Azumarill and I didn't want to lose him just yet anyway. And he then switched and he brought out Talonflame, and I kind of like hit him with a Giga Drain that was meant for Rotom after Mega Evolving, and it doesn't do a lot, obviously, as expected. So I switched back to my Azumarill because I predicted that he was going to use a fire attack on me, because he was either going to use Brave Bird or Fire Flare Blitz, and I knew he would go for the fire move because it would be a 4 times super effective on Yeti. So Azumarill takes that very comfortably. So he then gets a load of buff from the hail and the recoil, but so do I, and he hits me with a Brave Bird. I did think he would switch, but he didn't, and it takes me to like 5 HP, which activates my Citrus Berry. So I managed to hang on, and my Aqua Jet takes him out, which is always a good thing because he was my biggest threat with Abomasnow. So then he brings in Rotom again. Obviously he's going to be going for the Thunderbolt, so I switched out back to Yeti. And I did this because I knew he was going to be like coming up with either electric move, but he didn't, and he hit me with a Will-O-Wisp, but I was already burnt, so it didn't do anything. And I went for Giga Drain again to hit the Rotom, but he switches to Kangaskhan. And Giga Drain did quite a lot to Kangaskhan. I was not expecting it to do as much as it did. I expected it to just lightly budge it a little. So I took my Abomasnow back because he was gonna come at me with either a fighting type or like a normal type move. So I brought in Cofagrigus so that he would resist any of these moves, and I was lucky because he went for Fake Out and that doesn't affect him, so that forces him then to switch, and he brings in his Slowbro, who then takes a Will-O-Wisp to the face, and this turn I used Protect because I kind of wanted to see what he was going to do, if he had anything that was too frightening, which he didn't, so that meant I didn't have to switch out. So he just used Scald on me, and that was not a threat, so I went for the Hex, and I thought it was going to kill him, but it almost did, not quite, so I took another Scald. Still didn't do too much to me, and I used Protect again in my next turn because I wanted to stall him out a little bit so that he'd take some more burn damage before I went in to finish him off, and he does take the damage, but then obviously he gets a bit back from leftovers as well, but that's sadly for Slowbro not enough, and Hex takes him out on the next turn because he must have literally been on like 10 HP or something, maybe less. So he gets knocked out, and he then brings in his Bisharp, I've never really fought one of these either. I've got my own, so I do kind of get a bit worried by them because I know what they can do. I didn't think he was going to kill me. I did not expect that, but he did with a knockoff. But then Mummy really helped me out and took away his Defiant, which meant that when I switched in my Crocodile, the Intimidate actually worked and he didn't get buffed like he would have if Defiant was still active. But he wasn't going to stand around for that, and he withdraws Bisharp, and in comes his Rotom. And I expected that he was going to switch, so I went with the Toxic, and that poisoned Rotom. So I was kind of thankful for that because Rotom is a pain in the bum. He's so annoying, so switching back to Mega Abomasnow was the best idea for him. And he went for Will-O-Wisp again, and I was already burnt, so it didn't touch me. So that turn he just took hail and poison damage, and I knew he was going to switch this time. He wasn't going to stick around because we've had this switch thing going on since the beginning. So I decided to take a chance and I went with Blizzard, and that worked out really good for me because he switched into Kangaskhan, and that was knocked out in one hit by Blizzard. So I'm pretty glad that I did think about that and didn't just go straight for the Giga Drain. And the Bisharp comes back in, and I didn't think he was going to kill me with a Sucker Punch, but he did. So I've lost my Rotom killer at this point, so I was starting to get a bit nervous. This was like a really tense battle. So I went for Crocodile, and that sucked because I forgot that he'd now got Defiant back and he got buffed rather than debuffed. But then he did switch out, so obviously that gets rid of the buffs, and he went for Rotom because he predicted my Earthquake, and obviously I didn't get to do anything that turn. We just both took some hail damage and he took some poison damage. So again I switched, it's just like a switch-a-thon, and I went for Azumarill because I thought, well, he's going to be coming at me with either like a Water move or Will-O-Wisp, so I might as well take it with Azumarill because he was pretty much dead anyway. And Azumarill is practically on like 18 HP. It's not going to get very far, so I just thought I'd go with the Aqua Jet because he's just going to take me in the next turn. But he didn't actually attack me, so I could have used something a bit stronger. He went for the Resto Chesto, which stressed me out because I'd worked so hard trying to whittle him down, and then I poisoned him. So I was really panicking because I hate Rotom so much. So he gets killed by his burn in the end, Azumarill, so I switch in my own Bisharp, and I went for a Swords Dance. And obviously he was going to try and burn me, and he was successful. And I went with the Iron Head because I was kind of hoping in my next turn I went for that because I was hoping that it would flinch him, and it did. Like, I never get this, so it was like ridiculous luck for me. And I then went for a Sucker Punch to try and get some super effective damage, and it took him just below half. But he then just socked me full on in the face with a Hydro Pump, and obviously poor Bisharp can't stand that, so he faints, and I bring in my Dragonite. I love this thing, I really love Dragonite, he's so cool. And I went for an Extreme Speed, which I thought was going to kill him, but it didn't, and he rested, which surprised me. I really thought he was going to try and hang on and burn me. So this worked out really well for me because now I had a free turn to Dragon Dance. So I buffed myself while he was asleep, and then in the next turn I decided to try it again because I didn't think he'd be able to take me in one hit if he woke up anyway. But he didn't wake up, so I got 2 free Dragon Dancers in there. So he was in pretty deep water at this point, and I went for the Dragon Claw in the next turn, and he woke up and hung on, but he did burn me. The Will-O-Wisps just flying everywhere. I'm so sick of being burnt. But I finished him off with Dragon Claw. So that was the Rotom out of the way. I didn't think Dragonite would actually be the one to take him out. And he brings in Garchomp this time, and this was worrying because obviously Garchomp's a beast, but I was buffed, so I did have a chance. He protected on the first turn, I think, to just scout me out a little bit, see what I would do. And I was faster, thank God, and managed to KO him with a Dragon Claw, which was super effective, obviously. And he then brings in his Bisharp again, which does actually KO my Dragonite with a Sucker Punch, which I was pretty gutted about after all that buffing. I did want to get a Dragonite sweep, but oh well. But he was really unlucky in the end because all he'd got left was Bisharp, and in comes Crocodile, and even though he gets the buff from the Intimidate activating Defiant, he can't survive an Earthquake and he faints. So I won for once against some of you. This team hasn't been winning all the battles, but it's been pulling its weight, and hopefully you guys will battle me and test it out some more. So hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, drop me a comment, subscribe. Catch you later.